Hey guys, I'm C.K.white, and I'd like to talk to you for a few moments about money and marriage. Two important topics. Then you put them together and you could have a mess. Money and marriage, that coming up next on Revive. If it's your first time on our channel, we welcome you to our channel. We'd like to ask you to hit the little subscribe button and hit that little bell notification so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's dive right in. So my wife and I, we've been married for almost 22 years. In fact, May 22nd will be our 22-year anniversary. So we're 21 and a half years in marriage. We now have 5 kids. I'm a full-time pastor and Tammy's a full-time stay-at-home mom. So through the years, I've learned some things about those two topics, money and marriage. And what I'd like to do is share some thoughts with you today that has helped me and Tammy in our marriage when it comes to money. As a pastor for many years now, I have found that one of the top reasons that leads to divorce between married couples is the topic of money. It may not be the number one, but I'm telling you, it's in the top 3 topics that lead to divorce. And so we need to understand this matter of money and marriage and get a grasp on those two principles. There are many factors that contribute to how a person feels about marriage. You think about their age, their family background, their gender, their education. All of those things can contribute to how we feel about money. And then what we do is we bring that into our marriages. And so this is sometimes where the trouble begins. What are some of those rules for successful money management when it comes to marriage? The first thing is this, is that we realize that everything comes from God. The Bible tells us in Psalm 24 verse 1, the Bible says this, "The earth is the Lord, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods." And so the first principle that we have to understand is that everything comes from God. Where does money come from? Well, the Bible tells us that money comes from God. The Bible tells us that the world belongs to God. The Bible says that everything that we have comes from God. So I have to realize that God has given me certain things and that everything I have in life comes from Him. That means my wife is from the Lord. My children are from the Lord. My house comes from the Lord. My vehicles come from the Lord. The clothes I'm wearing, it all comes from God. And so we also have to understand that the very money that we have, the very money that we work for, comes from God also. Everything we have comes from God. Number 2, communication is a must when it comes to marriage and money. Both husband and wife need to sit down and have open discussions about how they're going to use their money. They need to sit down and look at all of their income and also all of their expenses and sit down and communicate about how to spend their money. The second key to having a successful marriage when it comes to money is communication is a must. You must communicate about your money. Number 3, we need to understand that we are not to keep secrets when it comes to our finances. I will tell you this, secrets are trouble for any marriage. You get into a marriage and you start having secrets, you are asking for trouble. And so both husbands and wives need to understand and be aware of any of the financial situations that are happening in marriage. I don't believe there should be any private income coming in. I think that it's hurtful for marriages to have separate bank accounts. I mean, there's secrets that can be hidden in all of those things. And if you're going to have a successful marriage, when it comes to money, you need to understand that we are not to keep secret. Let me just stop right here and say this. Even before marriage, there needs to be open lines of communication and no secrets. And so if you're keeping some kind of debt, you need to make sure you're not keeping that from your future spouse, because going into marriage, there doesn't need to be any secrets. Hey, I've got one more point coming at you, but if you like what you hear so far, why don't you just take 1 second and smash that like button. Thank you so much for doing that. And then the last thing is this. You need to agree on a plan and then keep it. How money is used in the home should be mutually agreed upon. You should sit down and set up a budget. Sit down and set up all your income. Sit down and set up all the expenses. And then as you go through that thing, you may have to make some modifications to that. You may have to take a little bit off of this or add a little bit on here and make those modifications. But you're doing this together. You're sitting down and you're establishing this budget together. And when it comes to major purchases, like a home or land or furniture or vehicles, you both need to be doing this together. You've decided this together. You're going into debt together, because in marriage you need to understand that we have to do things together. Once you set up that plan, you stick to that plan. Once you set up that budget, you stick to that budget. And let me say this, there is no cheating allowed. Once you cheat, it destroys the plan. Now, changes can be made, but they need to be made together. Money management can be a problem, but it doesn't have to be. There are several components that make a healthy marriage. You say, what are they? Trust. What are they? Communication. What are they? Security. What are they? Peace of mind. All of these things can make a strong marriage, but you must put them in place. Hey, I'd like to ask you to do something right now. If you can think of anything else, any other additional points that can add value to this video, why don't you drop that down in the comment section below. Now let me just say this, if you have these things in place, you can have a happy marriage. You can have a healthy marriage. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope that these principles have been a help to you. If they have, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share the video with others. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.